Hello and welcome to another podcast of The Odd Couple. This is Siddharth here. Today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Chinna Durai, who is heading the Critical Cares Unit at the Aster Hospital in Bangalore. He did his MBBS from Government Stanley Medical College in Chennai and MD from CMC Vellore. He has more than 20 years of experience in ICU management. Recently, he was one of the most important members of the COVID cases management at the Aster Hospital. He works very closely with the organ donation program and is very passionate about spreading the importance and the awareness of the organ donation. Welcome, Doctor. We love having you here. Thank you so much for coming on the Odd Couple podcast.
Thank you so much, Sid and Ashish. It is a wonderful opportunity for me to connect many people. When Ashish asked me, Dr. Chinna, whether you can, talk about COVID and vaccination, every day in, day out, the news changed over a period. If we see that few months back, so many people died there, so many people on admission. Now, everyone forgotten about how many people infected, how many people died. So, even presently when he's speaking, almost 3,000 to 4,000 people are dying in the US. Nowhere in the news it's been printed or played. People have kind of ignored and people started living with COVID as we all expected. Almost 1 year is a kind of a terrible period for all of us. Now we go into next phase, what are the vaccine, whether I will be protected, so many things, so many news about only vaccine, so many people calling me, Times of India, other people tell whether doctor I can give vaccine to HIV patients, pregnancy, lactation, Covaxin, a lot of things. Yeah, because the media also changed, their focus now. I think it's good to talk now freely what we all think in our community. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, sir. I still remember when this all started. At that period of time, nobody had a clue what is happening. Even treatment-wise, everyone is pretty lost. One worked, the other one didn't work. After some time, they changed the whole protocol. So we were always playing catch-up through the whole past 1 year. And the whole time on the horizon, we were waiting for the vaccine. And now the whole vaccine program is out. But there's so much of doubts and so much of questions. I am from the medical fraternity myself, but I still have my doubts. And so that's why I approached you, because you've always been one of those people I can approach and get my information from. But I was thinking that my audience don't have that. So that was the keen point for us to think, okay, let's try and bring Dr. Chinna on board and try and sort some of these problems out. But Dr. Chinna, before we get into the whole COVID vaccination and everything, can you explain what a vaccine is basically in layman's terms?
Yeah. See, the vaccination is nothing but we take a part of the virus, whether maybe live virus, we will reduce its virulence, or we kill the virus, or you take a part of the virus and we inject into the animal or human being. When the particle goes into the body reacts, somebody entered, some antigen entered, some foreigner entered in a body, so that our immune system is stimulated to fight against that. So if initially what happened, we have immunity to kill that antigen, then body also remembers, if the guy again come back to my body again, I will be trebly will fight against him. So that this called immunity is a memory, will be stimulated in the future course. So Jenner first identified, we can extract some of the particle of the virus or bacteria and inject in the animal. Developed immunity, so that when the next infection try to attack, it protected. So that we telling the body, I will stimulate you, you remember something, so that don't allow the person again to come back to you. This is the way, the polio vaccine, smallpox vaccine, so many vaccines. Now, after the birth, everyone knows about vaccine program. Correct. For example, when we born, without we knowing that we inject, a lot of vaccines. Yes. Now. So the detailed program of some 10 to 15 vaccines, everyone we would have undergone, so that people, it is not a new term for anybody.
Correct. But I think the biggest difference with the immunity which a vaccine gives you and compared to normal treatment which you give, the normal treatment is generally symptomatic in nature and allowing your body to take its course to heal it. While this is creating a memory within your body of antibodies, and that will fight the virus for you later on if it's infected.
there are vaccines, for example, some vaccines can give lifelong protection.
Correct.
There's some vaccine gives very, very short-term protection. For example, influenza vaccine, what we used to take before H1N1 season, this gives only 1 year protection. So that every year you have to take a vaccine. The same thing like a COVID, it is again respiratory infection. So that this will maybe maximum will give protection for 1 year only. We don't know anything now. We try to understand about this vaccine and how long it going to give immunity. We don't know, but definitely every year it should be. See, what they say when they introduce any vaccine, for example, polio. Though polio is almost eradicated in the world, except in Afghanistan and Pakistan, some part of African country where they're not able to give vaccine for every children. So now India polio is completely eradicated. But in spite of eradication, you have to keep on giving polio vaccine for few more years, so that there's not be any virus living in the surroundings.
Dr. Chinna, I can't agree with you more. I mean, I would like to thank both you as well as Dr. Ashish and all your colleagues and your fraternity for being the actual warriors out there, and tip a hat in your honor. But also, there are a lot of questions which also crop up in the space of vaccines. I mean, you explained beautifully how a vaccine works and everything. But when it comes to the COVID-19 or the SARS-2 that we know it as, people are worried, or there are a lot of news reports, as you mentioned, media earlier. They're painting so many different pictures, and whoever's the loudest is who's heard. Most often, it may not be the most factually correct thing. So, Dr. Chinna, as you mentioned, right now we have about 95 million cases across the world, with more than 2 million people have died. In India, I think it's about 1.5 lakh people have passed away from this unfortunate incident. And about 6 months back, we had about 50 vaccines under trial by 100 plus companies. And now it has been zeroed down to these 2 vaccines in India. And abroad you have the Pfizer, BioNTech, as well as the Moderna, which is, I believe, based on a different technology versus the vaccine which has been available in India. And could you just throw some more light on that, the difference as well as the efficacy of it?
Yeah. So we have 4 vaccines at this moment available for a major use in the world, and that only 2 vaccines which is very relevant to us are Covishield and Covaxin. See, the Covishield, what happened, Oxford University extracted some glycoprotein, and they able to generate immunity in the animals than human beings, and they were able to very fast able to complete phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trials, and immediately data were available. Immediately they did association with Indian companies, Serum Institute. They able to immediately started production now. So this Covishield, because we have a commitment to give to Europe and India, so that they have a limited capacity. Meanwhile, our own Bharat Biotech, along with the National Institute of Virology and ICMR, they able to extract part of the virus, and it's inactivated again. They able to generate equal immunogenicity response. And unfortunately, what happened, we started a trial a little later, so that only phase 2 trial completed in Bharat Biotech, but phase 3 trial completed with the Covishield. But fortunately, these 2 are in production. The lakhs of doses being produced, and these 2 are available now. See, what happened? The Indian government now, they decided to vaccinate healthcare professionals. Unfortunately, the stock is not enough to give this. So that what happened? They given emergency usage for Covaxin and Covishield, so that they able to cover at least 2 to 3 crore population. So you need not worry about which part they're taken or not. See, what happened, any vaccine, any successful vaccine in the past also have 60 to 70% effectiveness. Okay, so here people are claiming 90%, 70%, but Covishield also, they're saying a range of 60 to 80%, whereas Bharat Biotech 60 to 80% in phase 2 trial. But now, unfortunately, what is the problem now? What happened? The infection has come down now. Infection has come down.
So what I can say is that we're probably at a lull before another phase which is going to begin. So ideally, if we're looking at it in a good situation, this would be a very good time to vaccinate most of our population.
Yes, yes. See, what happened when infection last December, when the infection started in China, then slowly spread Europe. We were sitting saying, "Hey, come on, we won't get in India." So then, when it gone up to March, April, okay, we really had we were heart and mouth. Okay, it is hitting us badly. Then the peak happened September, October. Okay, see, then Europe peak happened somewhere March, April. After 4 months. 5 months we had a peak.
Correct.
Okay, even now I have a fear. Now the second wave happened in Europe and US, may hit us maybe in another 3-4 months. We may hit us. No way we are superior human beings that we won't affect. No way. But only thing is, what we found, we Indians exposed with kind of unhygienic water, unhygienic environment, maybe are more immune than white people. See, normally Europeans, Caucasians, usually what happen, any sepsis, normal infection, sepsis also, the mortality, the death rate is quite high in them compared to Indians. Okay, so maybe Indians and Africans, they have little better immunity than them.
I think we spoke about this. I remember asking you, why is our death rate much lesser than abroad? And you told me that time that before this infection itself, our rate of a patient who goes into the ICU and coming out of the ICU, it was always much better than a white person who goes into the ICU and comes out. So that was one point. But I want to take you back to your talk where you were mentioning about the efficacy. So there is this other vaccine out there, which is from Pfizer and Moderna, which are mRNA vaccines, and that's a new technology. I just wanted to know, in this mRNA vaccine, yes, there are logistical issues with it because it requires a cold chain transportation. By cold chain, we mean that it needs to be transported at really, I think -70 or something. I think the mRNA
-70, yes.
Yeah, so that is almost Antarctica. So that is unrealistic for us to have it transported across the continents. I understand why we're not using it here, but having said that, is the efficacy rate of an mRNA far greater than what we are getting here, or are they on par?
I think we are on par with vaccine. See, what happens now, for example, when we are in initial infection, when it happened, there are some epidemiological experts started telling at least we Indians should be 40 to 50% of people should get infected to halt the progression of the disease. It's called herd immunity. So out of 130 crores, 65 crore people should be infected. At least 60 crore people should be infected for developing herd immunity. That was the concept. So now, when we give a vaccine, at least 60% of people have been protected so that it won't jump to others. So now, even it need not go for 95% effectiveness. Even a 60-65% of effectiveness itself, and you inject more and more people, getting that 65% also, it is I think more than enough to acquire herd immunity soon, so that you can prevent progression of the disease or infective to others actually. See, now what we see now, the virus affected Indians, but it didn't kill them most. Okay, compared to 5%, 4% in other countries, we are less than kind of 1.2%. We have good immunity already. And second thing is, we exposed already these kind of viruses in the past. There are a lot of coronavirus already. Whether we already developed some kind of innate immunity in our body, okay, where we always cross a cross immunity. One group of virus to other group of cross immunity. There is a possibility.
I think the SARS virus, which was there before, is the same family of what we have now.
Yes, coronavirus.
So the SARS, I remember the SARS was a big deal back in 2008, 2009, around that time. So there was a set of infection which happened. So like what you said, we could have developed some form of immunity from that already, which could be protecting us.
I have a very pertinent question over here. Now let's say people are getting vaccinated. Does this mean we stop wearing masks and social distancing, or is it still important to wear masks and maintain social distancing while the vaccination drive is still going on?
So what is happening now, what they say, if you 2 doses vaccine should be vaccinated.
Right.
at 4 weeks to 8 weeks apart. So after the second dose, 15 days after that, your immunity level is very high. After which also, we have to use basic etiquette like wearing mask and social distance still to be maintained until we get a infection almost rate comes to very, very negligible ratio in India.
Okay. So guys, please remember, even if you get vaccinated, please keep wearing masks. Please maintain social distancing. Vaccination is not a magic wand which gives you a protective shield. Yes, it does, but it's important to be socially responsible also.
Then I can always ask you this question, right? Considering the fact that we've got an efficacy of only 60%, and once I come out of it, I still have to wear my mask. Now, I'm worried for our people because you know how it was. The lockdown was over and they were everywhere. And you know how the social distancing and the mask itself, the rules are flaunted. So my worry is that for these people who we give them a vaccine which has a 60% efficacy, they shouldn't put their guard down, right? But ultimately they might have that pseudo confidence saying that, oh, I've got a vaccine, yeah, I can just go.
The same thing happened about the reinfection, actually, the previous concept. Whether I am infected already, I have good immunity, IgG, IgM levels are fine. Why can't I want to wear the mask? Okay. Other day, I met one person, he said, I don't believe in COVID at all. I don't believe in Corona. I was really, really mad. What he is talking about? He doesn't believe it. Even after so many people are dying, he still doesn't believe. So, there is some people got reinfected also. Some doctors got reinfected. It's been proven, but is not rampant. That means definitely, the one infection happened, they get some immunity. The same thing like your vaccine also will create immunity to you, but doesn't means 100% you are protected.
Correct.
So until government says you can afford to lose the mask, until then I think we have to use a mask. I think it's like a Japan. They used to say in Japan the people use mask all together. They're saying that they have a different color of mask they use the social distancing. One more thing they're saying that even the TB, if you start using mask and the same thing, the TB will be soon eradicated from world. They're saying that.
For me, what I noticed during this whole year, usually during a year, I fall sick twice. But somehow this COVID came and I haven't fallen, touch wood, but I haven't fallen sick at all through the whole period, So, yeah. So, maybe just like what you said, just wearing that mask protects you from so many other things.
And washing your hands, the basic hygiene that
and washing your hands, just the care,
Yeah.
Yes. It is definitely helps. See, every year we see this November, December, the H1N1 goes up actually. We hardly see any H1N1 infections now.
Correct.
Hardly see any patients with the severe pneumonia come with the H1N1. It was a killer disease some few years back.
So I think it's safe to say that the mask is going to stay, basically.
Yes.
For a period of time.
Yes.
Earlier, Dr. Chinna, you were mentioning about herd immunity. By when do you think in India we would achieve this approximately?
So, the thing is what happened when the infection happened in our population, only 20% of the people develop symptoms. So those people only came to the hospital.
Right.
That is 80% of the people, they're not turned on to the hospital. That means, so whatever so far positive cases in India, if you have 1 crore case, that means already some 5 to 7 crore people already got infected.
Correct.
It is a rough estimation, they say.
Right.
When you do the zero survey of Mumbai, Urban and Delhi, they're saying at least 20 to 30% of the population already have immunity in their blood. I mean, IgG, IgM, whatever the levels I say.
Right.
If you say this much, so what happened? Not even 20% people develop maybe symptoms. Maybe 1 or 2% only develop symptoms. See,
correct.
When you do the serious survey, okay, the amount of people affected is not anyway correlating with the zero survey. So maybe what I'm thinking, maybe less than 5% people only came to the hospital. Okay, 95% of people didn't even come to the hospital, didn't even know they got a COVID infections now. Yeah, so what I'm thinking, maybe 20 to 30% of people already exposed to COVID. Maybe another 20% by vaccination you will cover. Maybe we reach a 50%. If we reach a 50%, I think we achieved herd immunity. That's what we see that even the COVID vaccination now, it is not forced, it is not compulsory. See, at least the people can take. So now they're saying that pregnant women no need to take, lactating women no need to take, immunocompromised people don't take. But still, we can cover by vaccination and create a herd immunity other other total 50% of people, so that we are much better in that. So I think we are close to maybe another 10 crore people be able to inject. I think we are achieving herd immunity.
Interesting. Nice.
So it should happen within the next 6 to 10 months, you think?
Yes, there is high possibility.
But sir, there's this second strain which they talk about, the new strain. How different is it from what we're currently seeing?
And is the vaccine effective for that?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This is called cross immunity. See, virus changes a strain, maybe part of the DNA, not whole virus is changed actually. So that even if cross immunity happens, at least this virus won't kill people. It may develop mild symptoms. It won't cause severe damage in them. There are some immunity will protect you to go for severe disease. This is what happened. Even for example, every year we inject flu vaccine. So flu vaccine being released by time of maybe August, July, August only the release, because when the flu affects Australia, New Zealand, okay, they're the first they get the flu, from them they take a virus and vaccination comes. By the time July, August, they released in India. By the time when our winter season starts, maybe October, November, we vaccinate all the people with the COPD, diabetes, hypertensive patients, old people. We inject them this vaccine. Every year, June, July only released actually. Every year they release a new vaccine. Maybe different strains now. So I believe though the COVID changes its the strain pattern with some mutations, but still the vaccine will give maximum protection.
That's good to know. Actually, I had another question which reminded me of something which I read long back. When this whole COVID was just about to hit, I was reading about vaccination where the studies show that only 10% of the people come back for the second round of vaccine. And you had mentioned earlier that only 15 days after the second shot of vaccine are you in the safe zone. So how big a concern is that for the second booster shot, only 10% people turning up? It's very important to sensitize our listeners that we have to take both the shots in order to be very sure that this vaccine is effective.
In that sense, what I feel which our government is doing is amazing actually. Now, obviously, we can't force somebody to come back and take the vaccine. What you're talking about are issues about say your hepatitis vaccine. We got to take our booster doses, and usually we take 3 doses, and sometimes it's just not tracked properly, and people just forget about it, and then it goes to 1 year, it goes to 2 years, and then the whole hospital admin will be like, have you got your hep vaccine? And then they do a whole drive. So you're right, there are things like that. But in this case, I think what the government is doing very beautifully is that they are taking everybody's detail. Everybody has to register for the program, and after registration and your whole details are taken, only then you get the vaccine. Okay. So there's a very good follow up from the government side itself for you to come back and take your second dose. So this will go on because it's I guess the seriousness of the thing. So I don't think we should face too much problem with it.
Since Dr. Chinna was mentioning that vaccines are usually has COVID-19 but a less virulent or a far more ineffective strain. So a lot of people are scared that will I get COVID-19 because I take a COVID vaccine?
No, you won't get, because we are not injecting live virus.
Okay.
It is a dead virus. Particle of the dead virus, no live virus here.
Okay.
It is an inactivated virus or part of the viral virus particle. It is a protein or mRNA substance. It is not live attenuated virus. So that you never will get COVID because of the vaccine. You may have mild symptoms of, because of we have fever, myalgia, some sore throat, some abdomen pain. This all you can have, some allergic reaction. You all may have all this, but definitely not. See, for example, if given someone a choice, you have a chance of getting COVID infection, maybe 10 to 20% chance, and you have a chance of getting vaccine, you will be having almost 100% protection. So that only these two choices, two choices. See, everyone should grab this government initiative, vaccines so available, and you get vaccinated. See, at this moment, Covishield and Covaxin, there was no serious effects. Only some couple of people died, not because of vaccine. It is a coincidentally they died due to some other reasons, not like heart attack or something else they died, not because of vaccine.
Right.
People are looking
He was
for,
going to
we have a
die
vaccine?
either way.
Yes, yeah, that's what you should not have a fear. See, you can question whether it's more effective or not effective, okay? But I don't think so. You should question is a serious complication. I'm going to die because of this. I'm going to get infection because of, no, definitely not. Zero.
Or the bigger question, are you going to turn into a zombie? Because we've seen so many zombie movies that it's all based on some virus, and then they start some vaccine program, and then the whole world turns into zombies. So Dr. Chinna, for all our audiences, will we turn into zombies?
Guys, even if you turn into a zombie, please tune into the Odd Couple podcast and support us.
So no, it's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. Yes, doctor.
See, this is amazing the way how they found this vaccine. See what happened, they're taking the virus from chimpanzees feces. If you see that the vaccine, what is
so the interesting part about this is that, like you said, they use the adenovirus. So in this technology, what they're doing is they're using the adenovirus to go in and code for a spike protein. So not the virus, only the spike protein of that virus. So the spike protein will create the antigens, and then necessary antibodies are stimulated by our thing. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's really creative the way that
amazing, creative, really creative.
Okay,
really
that
creative,
just flew over my head. I have no clue what you doctors are chatting about of this.
No, but you I will appreciate the
but
designer.
I shall not knowingly. Yes, I agree. but doctor, as we spoke about how there are certain serious side effects and some normal symptoms, which is like whether it's redness or myalgia, as you mentioned, or chills or certain mild fever, which is common thing. But in Norway, I was reading some 29 people have died after the vaccine. Is it again just a coincidence or?
No, they may be, because that mRNA vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, they're saying that actually after receiving those vaccines, see, the death may be due to allergic reactions and may not be looked after them very well because of they're so busy in the system. Europe system is purely completely stressed out system now. The beds are overflowing. Just imagine now in the Spain and the other countries, in the peak of the situation, if you call for ambulance, it takes 7 hours to reach.
I remember that.
7 hours to reach. Okay, yeah, just imagine these people would have got vaccination and they're gone home. The most of the people are living alone and they may not be monitored properly. We don't know what are the other reasons. See, now in India so far, not even only 2 deaths. One is Bellary, one in somewhere else. But there's lakhs of people already vaccinated. There is no death in close to vaccination. Anaphylaxis related, nobody have died. But anyway, we have clear cut the saying that who are known allergic to egg or different substances. Better avoid. See, I think it may not be coincidence. May be related to vaccine there, but it's not being monitored properly. Yeah,
I think, Dr. Chinna, if you could just throw some light finally on just saying who should and who shouldn't. I mean, I think the who should everybody, but who shouldn't, like particularly like who?
Yeah, see, the government has come very clear-cut guidelines now. Okay, see, they're saying that the two were Covishield have a clinical trial 3 done, so that it proven safety. Okay, we can give, there is no question of any safety precaution. Everyone can take, because even the phase 3 trial of Covishield, they include a lot of HIV patients, the immunocompromised patients being included in that actually, that's phase 3. But still, okay, you don't stress the system, don't stress them to take the vaccine, okay, because we are not going to cover all 130 crore people for vaccination. For herd immunity, we need 40 to 50% people who are healthy, who can get immunity, so that it will prevent. So now, government is very clearly says, okay, pregnant women need not to come. Lactating women, please don't. HIV positive patients need not have. So now the reason, one more guideline saying that who are on blood thinners, blood thinners like ecosprin or clopidogrel. These blood thinners also matter because they say maybe the chance of immune thrombocytopenia. That's what they're saying, that the platelet level may drop after taking vaccine. So that those people are avoiding. Maybe by eliminating, eliminating 1 or 2% of people. Okay. But still, we can find 40% of people we can get vaccinate them, so that that is the program. So we can avoid them. That's what even government guidelines clearly says. Even the biotech announced yesterday, added some more people not to undergo the vaccination.
Okay, and people with existing allergies should definitely refrain from it.
Avoid. Yes, definitely those who are allergic, unknown allergy. Sometimes people go out for food and unknown allergy. They have now and then have anaphylactic reaction like your swelling of the lips, eyes, breathing difficulty, asthmatics, severe asthmatic. Better to avoid.
I think the other question which most of the people outside the medical fraternity would like to know is, when is their turn? Do we have any information on when this is going to start rolling out to the common public?
See, now the first maybe it may take 2 months to complete all the healthcare workers. All the healthcare workers it may take, because one vaccinator can vaccinate, I think, the 100 people maximum per day. So they are going to have few centers. They're not going to distribute across, so that it may be stolen and people may misuse, or maybe there's so many things. So that maybe 2 months they may cover all the healthcare professionals. Next 2 to 3 months, people those aged more than 50 or people less than 50 years of age with the diabetic, hypertension patient, because we see in ICU they are the more people are become more sicker and more death happen among them. So they want to protect them. The second see, by the time when you can walk to the pharmacy and ask for the drug, it may take early next year, January, February. By choice you can go get a vaccine, and you can buy a vaccine and get injected.
Okay. So we can expect this whole government program running through the year, and maybe by next year it'll be available off the counter for people who want to buy it and use it.
Yeah. See, the India has a commitment, because we are not looking after only India, because we have been called as a pharmacy of the world. Everyone asking for a vaccine now. India. So we certainly we can't produce some 500 crore or 300 crores of doses or vaccines. It's very difficult to produce so much. So see, God's grace. Even the previous pandemic, the virus won't survive in this forever. It will survive for 1 or 2 years and disappear. We never know where it disappear actually. That is other belief what we have. That is other belief. Any pandemic. Otherwise, world population would have been eradicated long ago. Okay, this virus, we don't know why virus came and why virus suddenly disappeared. We don't know. Maybe already people forgotten about the vaccine. Our business is back on track, and maybe next year nobody bothers about COVID. If you see the newspaper now and the news, nobody talks about COVID infections and death, as we said earlier. Now about all hype about the vaccination only. After 2 months, that also will go up. If the election comes, everything will go up.
So I think it's safe to say at the end of the day that there will be a lot of hype around it, and like what Sid said earlier, the person with the loudest voice is obviously the one which is heard. But from the beginning, I've always said that you should approach this with a scientific mind. So my question to you finally is, Dr. Chinna, the rollout has happened and we are due to be vaccinated in a couple of days at our hospital. Are you going to get it?
Of course. I will be the first person to get it.
I'm damn sure you will be.
Yes. I trust the vaccine. I trust Indians. I trust India. I trust India is capable of, dominating the world over a period.
I think this is a proud moment for India with our achievement. And it's a proud moment for me to say thank you, Dr. Chinna, because I know you and you led the whole hospital from the front. You were the first person to wear that PPE suit, to don it and doff it. I was there when you took the class for us. So it's with great honor I say I thank you so much for all the effort you took during the whole year, protecting everybody at the hospital.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chinna. Thank you so much, Dr. Sheesh. Just knowing that two doctors with scientific temper and medical background are the first ones in line to take the vaccine builds a lot of trust and confidence, not only in India, but in ourselves to actually volunteer and be part of the whole and take the vaccine also. Thank you all for tuning in. As I mentioned earlier, and as Dr. Chinna has so beautifully put across, that the vaccine will help us achieve that herd immunity, and they are standing right in front of the line to get that vaccine done. Maintain social distancing, maintain masking, and also more importantly, keep tuning to the Odd Couple podcast. We will be going live with Dr. Chinna next week on either Facebook Live or YouTube Live, where you can ask your questions, drop in all your queries, and we'll get him to answer them. So thank you so much for tuning to Odd Couple. This is Siddharth.
This is Dr. Sheesh. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.